Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hi friends. It's today is the 19th, February 19th, 2025. See what's going on today. I'm just waking up.
Arguing, quote, the people voted for major government reform, and that's what they're going to get. But today, President Trump is putting the pedal down, accelerating efforts to slash tens of thousands of federal jobs and expanding Elon Musk's power to make it happen. Musk arguing, quote, the people voted for major government reform, and that's what they're going to get.
Zelensky, president of Ukraine, said Trump was living in a Russian-made disinformation space. Pretty serious quote. And Trump called Zelensky a dictator without elections because they are a militia, which means that the military controls the country. After the war started, they changed to a militia type government. So that means the president can't get elected out of office because they can't have election until the war's over. Zelensky said he wants Trump's team to be more truthful. It seems true that Trump has already told a lot of what seemed like lies to me. I don't know how else to describe him, as well as all the news reporters who have tried to explain what he was talking about or what he was referring to. They seem to realize that he's definitely telling a lot of lies already. Excluding Ukraine from U.S.-Russia talks is dangerous, according to Zelensky. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to say "I told you so" about Trump or about Ukraine. I just wish they understood that since they've been fighting for their territory since 2014, it seems like they would get to a point where they would just evacuate the war zone. And because if they don't have Europe on their side, they're screwed. And if they do have Europe on their side, then they should be able to trust that Europe will take care of their refugees or their immigrants, because they're running away from the war and they know what it's about. They understand. So what's the problem? All the money that the United States spent on the war in helping Ukraine they could have built them their own city in America and had that as a temporary city during the war, and they could have shipped them all out of there They didn't even have to fly him out. It's it's something I'm sure that they could have negotiated with Russia about and said, we just want to evacuate as many citizens as we can who don't want to have anything to do with the war, and we don't know if there's ever going to be an end to this or what it is that's going to stop it. So please give us a passageway for evacuations. And they did that before. That's how a lot of Ukrainians were able to leave the country. There was believe it or not, there's actually millions that have left. Some of those people actually probably went to Russia. I don't know why they would, but they're not afraid. I mean, that's why they're fighting. They've been fighting Russia for their land so long. They're not. They don't seem very afraid of Russia. They don't seem afraid of defending their land or just being near the place they were born and raised and made their lives and families and stuff. So, and plus Ukrainians understand Russian, but Russians don't know how to speak Ukrainian, so they got sort of an edge on them there. And Russia's got so much that they're dealing with individually because they're not sort of united like the United States is. They don't really know each other that well. They raid nightclubs every weekend and get everybody laying down on the dance floor and arrest them all, hands behind their backs, and then they mobilize them for the military. They recruit them against their will. They look for any immigrants that have entered the country. They go into shopping plazas, shopping centers, and on the weekends, and they chase them all down. They bring them all into the military, but they don't really know each other individually very well because they're all watching their backs all the time, and especially the government, because they make so much money and they don't want to lose their jobs, so they don't worry so much about all these people that speak Ukrainian there or that are from Ukraine that are there. But if they hear them talking against the government or against the war or something, then they will arrest them for sure. And especially if they're protesting in any way or what might be considered spying or something like that. But the way I understand it, there are a lot of Ukrainians there in Russia for whatever reason, and of course many, possibly up to 1 million, have been taken there against their will and put into reprogramming facilities to become Russian instead of Ukrainian. So many children, and that's what the International Criminal Court is trying to investigate and arrest them for, primarily as their main war crime. I mean, they've harmed children to no extent. It's almost a daily occurrence. A child gets hurt or abducted or something, kidnapped, and separated from their families, murdered. I've seen children with artificial limbs, and it's heartbreaking to know they have to spend the rest of their life, and the whole world has to explain to them every single day for the rest of their life why they are different and why they are probably going to be considered an outcast or excluded from many activities in regular society. They'll have to spend a lot of their life in something close to isolation, other than maybe the friends they make that are have similar disabilities or something. I'm sure they get together and support each other that way, and I'm sure there's some normal people that are spending their time with people with disabilities and with that need help, because some need help with artificial limbs, that they need somebody to cook for them, or things like that, clean their house, or who knows, all kinds of possibilities. Okay, so that's the American news. Let's see, Russia. I don't use AOL. I know it said that. I logged in there to an account that was from a long time ago, because I was curious to know if that would have a connection to a YouTube account, because I used to film videos and put them on YouTube, and I don't know which account had the majority of the videos I filmed. I think I know I scattered them around, but I had so many profiles on not just YouTube, but MySpace. Oh God, I had probably about 40 or 50, and YouTube I had about 40 or 50, and Twitter is the one. Oh, Facebook I had probably about 20 to 25 profiles, and Twitter's the one I had the most. Was Twitter X, probably over 100 profiles for sure. Some of them I can't remember the names of, so I couldn't find them, but I tried to keep them all together, because a lot of them got shut down before Elon Musk took over and changed the system. And the system's not so much easier to use now necessarily, as far as like signing into an account or getting locked out. It's still kind of the same situation, but once you do verify everything, and take the little Quiznos quiz, then you generally you don't really get that account deleted, or you don't get locked out very often. Only once in a great while, So yeah, too bad I'm missing about 25 of those accounts at least. And they weren't probably my best ones, so I don't worry about it, but I made a lot of social media accounts over the years. So here now I've stopped on Twitter X. All I'm making now is YouTube videos if I feel like it, and I'll just see if that becomes fruitful. I wasn't getting the kind of support that I was hoping or expecting on Twitter. I did when I really tried hard to find friends and stuff, but I was hoping that some of them, I don't know, some of them would have known me better, or they would have remembered me, and it was only like a handful, 4 or 5 that seemed to remember me, and it was even some of the people I thought definitely knew me, they didn't seem to know me, so not worried about it, I've got about 29 or 30 or 31 followers, so I don't really care what happens there. I'm just using that profile, my last one, to navigate the website for X Twitter. Okay, Ukraine news for February 19th, 2025. Yeah, Trump echoes Russia. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's heartbreaking to know that Trump and Elon are already starting to lean in the direction of what seems to be supporting the Russian agenda for the Kremlin, Russian Federation. Trump calls Zelensky a dictator. New York Times. Yeah, I don't know about the minerals. They're asking for like 500 billion. How long would it take to um, how long would it take to get 500 billion? And when I did the research on it, I found that America's deal was very what seemed unfair, you know? It seemed like they would control like the whole industry. They'd be getting at least like 50% of everything that was found. And it seemed that they would control the whole situation because of the companies that would be buying those industries that would be mining for the minerals and stuff. We're all connected to something called BlackRock, which is a United States company which, I don't know, finances our military or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, it's too bad they're not getting along because the worse they get with each other will only show that Trump is really on Russia's side. And like he's already blaming Ukraine. Sorry. He's already blaming Ukraine for starting the war, you know? And I mean, like, if I was Ukraine, I think it's crazy that they, you know, why did they think that they could fight Russia in 2022? They said, Zelensky said, we don't need a ride, like a ride out of here. When it started, he said we need ammunition. And I don't know why he was expecting to get that from America and putting so much faith in the rest of the world. I mean, he was like the most gullible, you know, trusting like a child, you know, this whole situation. And it's unbelievable and it's a miracle that he got what he did, you know. But I think what Ukraine was getting from the America was a certain amount, and we were giving them that in older weapons, and then we were replenishing our stocks with the same amount. So somehow we were getting what we were giving, but ours was the new stuff, and theirs was our old supplies. But we estimated the value based on what those would be priced at if they were new. And maybe the supplies were new, but they weren't 2024, you know. They were, or before that, they were a lot older stuff that was maybe new, but maybe like 10 or 20 years, definitely, or probably a lot more than that in a lot of cases. Yeah, when he says he's a dictator without elections, um, why is he saying that? You know, he mocked his counterpart in a post filled with falsehoods. What can Zelensky do when they are a militia? There's no way they can have an election. Why does he have to explain that in front of the whole world? This is the New York Times, you know. Is Trump ever going to answer for his lies? You know, I think he's trying to make himself what Putin is in Russia, a real dictator, but more than that, what so many government officials have already described him as being a fascist, an authoritarian, and a racist. And he's the one who's a dictator. He even said at one point, he vowed to be a dictator from day one of being elected. I mean, is he trying to blow everybody's mind? I don't think so. I don't think this is a comedy routine at all. I think it's fucking power play, just like and like I said, I don't want to say I told you so. I don't to America. I don't want to break anyone down or make them depressed or anything, but we did tell you, you know? We don't want to be like Russia. We don't want everybody to be like a fucking slave, except for a small, uh, number of people who are a bureaucratic inner circle of the top military officials and the top government officials, and that's the only people, along with whoever's controlling the industry in Russia, the oligarchs, who have billions of dollars and can travel the world, promoting the cause of the Russian agenda with propaganda and however way they're doing business with other countries, in every way possible, and along with their partying, and their lifestyle is crazy too. They do whatever they want, and they're not. They don't seem to have any foundation of like biblical, spiritual values or principles that sort of guide them in any way. So I believe Trump is trying to turn our government into something like that, and there probably won't even be elections in the future, sadly. He will make himself something like a king, like Putin is, and he will try to stay in office until he dies, And then this guy, J.D. Vance, if he takes over, I'm just hoping we can elect him out before too much trouble happens, It seems now like the coronavirus probably had something to do with Trump, And I say that because China is aligned with Russia, and Trump seems to be aligned with Russia. So, he always pretended not to be supporting China's will or anything, but sorry, I don't know.
Дуже поважаємо американський народ, який нас постійно підтримує. На жаль, живе в цьому дезінформаційному просторі. Я би хотів би, щоб було більше правди у команди Трампа. Бо все це впливає точно на, точно не позитивно на Україну не впливає.
Yeah, what's the big deal with not why have Russia at the meetings for the peace negotiations and not Ukraine? I mean, Trump was pretending to be Zelensky's friend before the election, and now all of a sudden it's like he acts like he's a total stranger and he fucking blames him for starting the war. God, I wish Ukraine would have seen the trouble that was waiting for them in the future. If they would have known all the people that they would have lost, would they have still acted as human shields in between Russia and Europe and the rest of the world? I'm going to take this picture. So this picture is from Monday. Alright, so there was maybe one more thing. What was this? CNN. Fully adopted Russia's false propaganda, turning against a sovereign democracy that was invaded in favor of the invader. Oh man. he's a fucking heartbreaker, man. And they said Zelensky had like a 4% approval rating in his country. That can't be true. There's no way. He's got a large approval rating because of everything he's trying to do to save his country. He's done more than anyone could have done in the whole world, no matter how hard they would have tried. He's constantly traveled begging for money from the rest of the world, even though he shouldn't have had to beg. You know, it was so sad. Alright, let's see. Is that going to be there forever? So I guess AOL, you can't have your old YouTube accounts. Everything changed like in 2009 or 13 or something, and you had to have a Google account to have a YouTube account. You can't. So I don't know. I guess you can't have access to all your old accounts unless you make a specific request and tell them you need to activate an old account because it had some important information on it or something. But it doesn't sound like an easy process, whatever it is, for them to dig up all that old stuff. So everything has changed really quickly. Technology has changed and it will change. Technology will save the world. You know, things are getting better. It's easier to operate laptops and it's easier to operate cell phones, I'm sure, now. And desktops. I mean, this desktop that I bought is from 2009. I bought it like a year ago because my other computer was, I don't know, it was from like 2013 or 11 or something, but it was just getting old, you know, it was getting slower and stuff, too slow. So I just decided to get a new one. It wasn't that expensive, but it wasn't super basic to start over again. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. I had to remember a lot of things, you know. I'm sort of in the process of testing something out about my YouTube account and sort of switching between two different ones to see which one I like better. And so I'm using kind of one that's kind of old and one that's kind of not so old. I think one's like 5 years old, one's like 9 years old. So I got to repost all my videos, and the format will be a little different, and I will, if I choose that one, I will add that to my X account, where it says where it has the link here. So a lot of people, there's the Ghost Whisperer, right? I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't understand or believe that I really was connected to some kind of spiritual world where there was ghost voices and stuff, and they all talked in riddles and things. But the riddles were kind of like little basic nursery rhymes. They weren't too hard to figure out if I was to try real hard to meditate on it and listen to it, what they were saying. You know, they were just, but there was no point in that because, like I said, they were just foolishness, trying to figure out what the joke was. A lot of the voices were reminding me of famous people. The most common voice was the one they all seemed to know, which was Santana. They would say, when Santana gets on, and they would finish their sentence. But that's how they would start it. And the Santana ghost was one that sounded like Al Pacino. I doubt that he would even believe me for that, and he'd probably be offended that I even talked about him. He'd probably call me a faggot or something. Who knows, I don't know Al Pacino. I have a lot of respect for what he's done to change the world, especially Scarface impacted so many people, and The Godfather, The other things he did, don't know anything really about it much, so I don't think about it, worry about it, I think he was like the devil or the king of New York or something in one movie. Can't really remember it. And he was in some other movies with Michelle Pfeiffer. And so yeah, I like Michelle Pfeiffer. She was really good in Scarface. She was really good. All right, so let's see here, Anna. What is this? So this is Anna today. Ukraine struck a refinery. Oh, that's so cool. I'm really happy. Glad to know.
To try to break the... Hello guys, I felt very bad yesterday after listening to the press conference of President Donald Trump. He could have abandoned Ukraine, stopped the support, but it is so wrong to try to break the spirit of the Ukrainian people and to undermine our strength and bravery. I am sorry that we defend ourselves too effectively, but we will not stop. And we continue implementing Ukrainian peace plan, which is to defeat and demilitarize Russia. Ukrainian drones visited another oil refining facility, oil pumping station Kropotinskaya, and paralyzed it by damaging for a number of months. No one will save Russian economy and no one will save Putin from prison and humiliation. Remember that. Share and subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine.
All right. So yeah, what do you say? Interesting. Ukraine joining NATO now would end the war now? Really? Oh man, the European Union or the NATO alliance, why did they fucking break our hearts every day of this war? We've been begging for them to let the militaries do their jobs, somehow find a way to break the rules. Okay? When all these fucking war crimes are being committed by this Hitler guy, every day of my life I've been brainwashed with what Hitler did to the Jews, and I feel like I know more about the Nazis than anybody in the whole... I mean, you get to the point where all you can do is imitate them, You're like an undercover Nazi, until somebody actually does something that's like a hate crime, and then everybody goes, oh, wow, what's that, And what should we do about it? That's not good, And it's like the same thing with gays. Like, we got to think about it all the time and think about it every day and try to figure it out. Like why these people are saying transgenders have different chromosomes or something. Their biological chemistry is totally different. It's not an X and a Y like a normal male or a female. It's two X's or it's two Y's, and that's why they're different. So you can't say that there is no other gender other than male and female. It's like, okay, but the officials are saying we don't really understand what transgender even means. It's like we don't have time to deal with it or worry about it. It's like too much to even think about, So, I don't know. I think about it. I have to think about it every day. I have to think about the Nazis every day. Europe has had to think about Ukraine every day. And it seems to me they're going to save a lot of money if they find a way to let NATO do their job, let Ukraine in, because they've already guaranteed that someday Ukraine's definitely going to be a part of it. So what are they waiting for? Why are they waiting for Ukraine to slip on a banana peel or something, and which probably isn't going to happen? They're not going to fall on their face and do something that offends NATO, that they won't be able to join in the future. Ukraine has been the good guys the whole time. That's what they're going to continue to be, because Zelensky is a good guy. He's done nothing but try to do the right thing to save his country. Salute Zelensky. President Zelensky. This guy gives out medals. He was in like what looked like a transgender music video. When he was a comedian, it was a parody of a normal music video, and he was dancing around like in high heels and stuff, and it was funny. What makes people laugh, when you see a big guy like that, dance or ballet or something? I mean, right? He was a comedian. He was Paddington Bear in one of their cartoons. Salute to Anna too. And here in Kyiv, I don't know if this is this Anna? I don't know where this place is, or if that's where she might live or something. But listen, this is just last night. An ordinary evening after successful negotiations in Saudi Arabia. Putin shows his respect to Trump's team and Rubio. They agreed to negotiate without even pretending to offer a ceasefire. So here's an ordinary evening in Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine. Listen to this.
Negotiations in Saudi Arabia are very effective. Greetings from Kyiv. Negotiations in Saudi Arabia are very effective. Greetings from Kyiv.
Okay, now doesn't that sound like about as bad as it could be? It sounds like Apocalypse Now. Like, if say there's some people at a campfire or something, and there's animals waiting to attack and get to the s'mores or something, or the hot dogs, and popcorn, and just, they will not stop until you stop them. You have to hurt them or kill them somehow. That sounded just like fucking Apocalypse Now, the Vietnam movie. As bad as it could be, in the capital city, and every night they're shooting down over 100 drones. Sometimes they send up a F-16 to shoot down drones, and they lost some of the first F-16s they got from like the United States their best pilots went up in like a drone storm, but they were only able to get a few because there were so many that particular day. Their chances weren't very high of surviving it, you know. So unfortunately, Ukraine lost two of their best pilots, and it was like two of the first F-16s that they even got. It was like, oh, just very, very depressing, morbid day of sadness for Ukraine. Okay, so this is yesterday, February 18th.
Ultimatums now if we rejected. Hello guys, and I want to start this video quoting President Zelensky. Why would Ukraine agree to Russia's ultimatums now if we rejected them in the toughest times? After these 3 years of Russia's unprovoked full-scale war against Ukraine, we've learned and achieved a lot. We destroyed many of their arsenals, ruined the backbone of the Russian army and the Black Sea Fleet, so they ordered more soldiers from North Korea. But that did not change the situation in Kursk, and we control a lot of Russian settlements. Ukrainian drones travel unstoppable and destroy strategic for the collapsing Russian economy oil refineries. Russia is the weakest ever. So what is happening? Why is Russia negotiating with the United States in Saudi Arabia without Ukraine and Europe? This moment will go down in history as a very bad example of how appeasing the dictator does bad for all the democratic world. Share and subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine.
You know, it's like, thank you, Anna. One old man who promised to end the war in 24 hours, Trump, called another old man who promised to take Kyiv in 3 days. Now it's been 3 years. Don't worry, it's not the first time we break bad plans with our Ukrainian strength, resilience, and unity. So, you know, they're taking it. They're taking the bad medicine, and they're feeling betrayed. They're feeling ashamed. They're feeling poisoned, I believe. They're feeling heartbroken, but especially betrayed. And you know, I think they would feel even double betrayed by Europe if England wasn't shooting missiles, or allowing them to shoot their missiles into Russia. They're shooting England Storm Shadow missiles and drones into Russia. I mean, if it wasn't for that one thing, and if it wasn't for the support of the Prime Minister of England, and his support is about as strong as it could be on the highest level, if it wasn't for that, I think Europe and NATO, the European Council, the European Union, or all those things would have broken Ukraine's heart seriously and almost made them just wish they were dead. Because NATO should have found a way to, or the United Nations, or the European Union Council, they should have found a way to bend the rules, because they're dealing with a monster like fucking Adolf Hitler, and they should just know better after all these years. You know, it's true that they did give lots of monetary support and weapons and stuff, but it's not enough to stop the problem. What it comes down to is rather obvious, that Ukraine is a human shield between Russia, and they are just buying time to deal with Russia. When Russia finally decides to invade a NATO country, and they will, but they want Trump, they want America on their side when they do it. That's why Trump's, it's, I mean, what are we supposed to think now? Like when he's like trying to take Greenland, he's fucking threatening Canada. Very unwise, in my opinion. That's where Alaska is, but that's probably why, because he wants to give Alaska to Russia, or he wants it to be a part of a country that's aligned with Russia, like the United States is at this time, according to the words and actions of Trump recently. You know, what can we say? We can't talk about these things forever. I'm not going to make 1,000 videos like this. You know, this is like we're getting close to the point where I'm going to have to like do what I do with my profile here and on Twitter, and just say, fuck it, it's over. And if I make a YouTube video, it won't be about, you know, negative stuff that can't be resolved, you know, that's going in the same direction. It's like Trump is getting closer and closer to kneeling and surrendering to Putin's will and agenda. So, you know, sorry. So here's the emergency meeting they had with Ursula von der Leyen. Yeah. That's how many followers she has? 1.5 million. She's like the main woman for Europe. All of Europe. And there's Keir, Macron, Schultz, the Gianni from Italy. There's the NATO chief, Mark Rutte. This guy is like the leader of the European Union, I guess, and she is, I don't know, or he's the ambassador. She might be the ambassador. He might be the secretary general or something. But Mark Rutte is the secretary general, spokesman for NATO. Now that the last guy was replaced. All right, so one more Anna video.
Ukrainian peace plan, and we have just... Hello guys, and I'm very proud that we continue the implementation of the Ukrainian peace plan, and we have just destroyed a big column of the Russian tanks in the Kursk region of the Russian Federation. What makes this situation funnier is that Russians decided to put red flags, red communist old Soviet flags on top of their tanks, and of course this detail could not remain unnoticed by the Ukrainian drones. And we have neutralized more than a dozen of evil Russian tanks. And by the way, this communist flag's glorification of Stalin is another proof that the unpunished evil grows. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia did not prosecute old Soviet violent crimes even against their own population. And right now Putin is working on the restoration of the USSR, but we won't let him. Share and subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and to defeat the Kremlin.
Okay, let's see, this one I haven't looked at for a few days, but it sounds like they got a defense institute. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not even the oil refinery we're looking for. Oh, good news. Wow, that's a big fire. Look at that. Defense Institute. See, Ukraine usually almost always hits military targets or things that seem like they are, because a lot of these warehouses, they pretend to be something else, but they actually are storing or manufacturing like weapons or something. 1,500 square meters. What city? Moscow. Is that it? Moscow. Russia's main cities are Moscow and St. Petersburg. All the other cities, not that many people at all, but those two are the main ones. And they can be called big cities for sure, but you know, with all that frozen wasteland, you think there would be more cities than just those two main ones, basically. And that's why they can't win a nuclear war. Another reason why their population is so concentrated in those two areas. Okay, wow.
Что у нас творится? Опять что-то горит. Ужас. Что это горит? Вот тут у нас Колумбус, получается. И вот Сумской проезд, наверное. Это что? Не знаю. Господи, что у нас творится? Опять что-то горит. Ужас. Что это горит? Вот тут у нас Колумбус, получается. И вот Сумской проезд, наверное. Это что? Проезд. Сумской проезд.
What is that place? Interesting looking building. Not sure what that is. I thought it was just like a modern apartment building or something. Uh-oh. Ivan Fix. I think the Ukrainian government or the Russian government, they just give orders to people. They don't really teach them how to be a soldier or probably anything else. They just tell them to fix things. And then they don't pay them sometimes. You know, that's why like all these people who were sent to fix the railroad or something, they're saying, why didn't we get our money? Yeah, they're always complaining, saying like, why do we have these money contracts, but we haven't been paid in months now or something, you know? And they say the president's name. They make petitions and letters and things. Alright, the oil refinery. There it is. Looks like that's where I hit right there. Oh yeah, looks a lot bigger from this angle. Those are those poles. Oh man, yeah, see how those are those really huge poles. Something over here. What's that over there? Looks like that might be part of the fire too, or a different. Maybe there's more than one drone that hit it. Sometimes after they hit one oil refinery, they shoot the same one again to try to make sure that the fire keeps going. I guess, I don't know. Samara region. Where's this? Oh, that's the one.
Хана авто-6. К2. Хана авто-6.
Man, I remember that from a dream. Isn't that weird? Something like that. And I remember there was snow in the dream, but there was like a thing like that. I don't know if it was like a water ride kind of. I think, yeah, it was. It's weird to have dream flashbacks. I have those kind of deja vu a lot when I have dreams. I'll see things on YouTube videos or movies or anything that reminds me of the dreams. I remember the snow in the dream was really, it was really vivid. All the nature and stuff was really clear. I don't remember any fires or anything. And it wasn't a recent dream. It was probably years ago. But it was here 106. You know, it's not like I don't believe in Russian people. They say that this is Putin's war, but unfortunately the Russians are so brainwashed with propaganda, they don't know what to do other than talk about murdering children and things like that, or they're crazy, you know, they're out of their minds from the propaganda, like, and the slavery, not to mention. They're constantly being lied to, constantly being betrayed by their government in so many ways, and it's just a fucking bad situation, like, on the highest level, you know. Oh, that's Odessa. They targeted a hospital and other civilian infrastructure. February 18th, you know? What did Lavrov say just a few hours ago? Oh man, I don't want to see him argue with Zelensky. I don't think that's exciting. I don't think it's funny. It's heartbreaking. Because while they fight, there's children in the background who are wondering what's going to happen to my house or my family or my body, you know, if they are bombed, you know. Sometimes the Russians send drones down to civilians in cities. They have to run with their legs away from the drones. normal people, not even military. And same with vehicles, drones will chase. Russia is merciless.
Bei der
Ziel war es, auf X
der wie AfD Gebiets von
mit ähnlich viele anderer Parteien. Trotzdem ihre Newsfeed
Analyse hilft Tiere nichts, bleiben also Nutzer ohne Eigenschaft.
Looks like a drone hit over there. Tula, Russia. It's good to subscribe to this guy because Elks Summer 1, because he shows so many things that happen in different regions of Russia. You get familiar with the parts of Russia that Ukraine is sending drones to. You could get a better idea of how far they're sending their drones. Like sometimes their drones go like 1,800 kilometers. That's like that might be like 1,500 miles, you know, or 1,200 or something. What is this? The Russian, they're not disposing of their waste properly. The fish remains. They get these bus fires all the time. I don't know if this is a joke. Something about buses catching fire all the time. It's almost like a daily occurrence. It's really weird. Just like that. Just like that, another bus every fucking day almost. It's one thing that makes me feel a little weird because that was one of my main jobs as a bus driver for a few years in Orange County. If there was something I did wrong, like I didn't have sex with women enough, like what do you expect me to smoke weed, like take drugs, like always be ready for sex when I'm fucking got the goddamn Thomas guy in my fucking hands while I'm driving a bus all over Orange County, you know? It's like, yes, I did get really familiar with the county, and there were times where I stopped at liquor stores and picked up some porn magazines and videos or something for later, but what the fuck? I'm not gonna have sex with the passengers because a lot of those retarded bitches, you know, who knows if they're gonna fucking freak out or, you know, tell their caretakers or cry or something or scream. Who knows if they were into it, you know? Some of them were attractive enough to want to have sex with. I will admit that, you know? But I didn't even try, you know, to flirt with them. And then the other half were fucking, you know, men that had fucking mental problems or something. The only normal passengers I had, if I did like a normal route, like if I went to Santa Ana and started at their main train bus station and then went around the city, those were the only normal bus routes I had during my 3 years in the mid 90s. So this is the flag for the European Yeah, interesting flag. I'll admit. Not sure what this means to me yet, but I like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. 12 stars, like a clock. Yeah, interesting. I like the flag. I like England's flag, Great Britain, UK. And Ukraine's flag's pretty cool. It reminds me of junior high school. We had our PE uniforms we had to take home and wash every day. I bet there's a lot of people that didn't wash their fucking uniform every day, right? I would. We had a washing machine, but does everybody have a washing machine? I mean, I don't know. The school is in a pretty rich area, so in Lake Forest, Serrano, I would imagine most of the kids were able to clean their uniform every day. Okay, should go. Are there any more? The Kursk. Alright, well, alright, that's enough for now, this video. 84th consecutive night. Look at all those people. Wow. Alright. Interesting. President's approval rating. She's talking about Zelensky. Something must have happened. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they know it's so obvious that Mike Pence so he says before anything else he's a Christian. Alright, that's commendable. Yes, the road to peace must be built on the truth. Mr. President, he's targeting Trump. Ukraine did not start this war. Russia launched and provoked a brutal invasion, claiming hundreds and thousands of lives. The truth is what matters, and those who are good guys are the people who support the truth and act on that support. This was Trump's vice president, and oh man, all the hell he had to go through during January 6th when they were trying to hang him, and the people were chanting like hang Mike Pence or something, and even Trump said like something on social media during January 6th like that Pence was part of the problem or something, and that he should be hung or some joke or something. I can't believe what he said. I can't believe it. I mean, it doesn't even sound like that could even have happened, right? And then now he let all those people out of jail and prison and stuff. They finally, just in the past few days, they finally arrested like the last ones who were guilty of crimes that day. Okay, what Gmail am I going to? Alright, that's my... So I have to change my Gmail to another account so that I can use the other one if that turns out to be better. And what's going to make it better? Oh, I'm not sure. I just have to kind of observe both of them a little bit and think about it. Which one I like more. So I'll show that in another video. Let's see. AOL. Don't think I'm going back there. Come on. No way. I don't like AOL. I don't need it. My dad warned me about it. He said something was wrong with AOL. He didn't like it. So, you know, it turned out that Google seemed to be the one for me that I trust the most. Because I sort of transitionally stopped using AOL, even though at that time I had so many AOL accounts because I had so many YouTube accounts, and I was getting most of my email addresses from there. And then for some reason, at some point I switched over to Gmail. That was probably when YouTube switched over. Alright, for this video, I might have a little talk with the large camera. So that'll be a separate video. So now I would like to use the square and show more of my apartment and the map here instead of just what looks like, that must be Florida. Is that all we get? Not even some Texas, or this part I think is Mexico. Yeah, the square I can't show because I need to go here, and this is how I stop the video right here. So I don't know, when it's using the square, I don't know how to reduce or change the bubble to a bubble, and I don't know how to reduce the size of it so I can get to the taskbar location thing here. Stop recording, right? Well, it says F10, so let me see if that works. Alright, so I'm going to take the F10. Let's see if this stops the camera. Alright, ready? Thank you for watching, and feel free to subscribe or like my videos if you want to. And eventually, you know, within probably more like 6 to 12 months, maybe by winter time, I'll be a lot more social minded, and after the summer, and I'll probably try to start communicating with my subscribers and people if they leave like comments and stuff on my videos. Maybe I'll start getting more involved, interacting with people and stuff. Okay, I'll stop the recording now. Thank you. Have a nice day. Arrivederci. Oh, I guess F10 didn't really stop it. Alright, here we go. Okay. Ay.